Hey there, I'm Gerd Leonhardt, Futurist in Zurich, Switzerland. Just a brief message before the show starts. This is a new thing. We're going to use pre-recorded pieces of keynotes and things that we've done over the last 5 years that look pretty amazing, that were never really used in their entirety. So here we're going to dish them up. They're between 7 and 15 minutes, and they'll be playing pre-recorded on the LIVESTREAM platform. I'll be sitting and watching and talking to you on the chat and the comments. Great opportunity to connect with me while we're live streaming, so I don't actually have to do the show. I can sit back and talk to everybody. So if you enjoy it, please share widely. Visit my website at futuristgerd.com, and I hope you enjoy the show.
Let me talk about work and jobs. Many people are worried about the future of work. I'm also worried, but I think there's good components here. There's things happening that may be tough for us to change, but there will be human work in the future and human jobs. I mean, in 1900, about 90% of people were working in agriculture and farming, and today in the US is less than 2%, in Europe even less than the 2%, right? But we're still working. So let's look at the background of this. A chapter from my book, Technology versus Humanity, which is available in Portuguese, of course. You can download this for free in Portuguese and many other languages at megashifts.digital. Just go there to download this chapter and read some more about this. But basically what's happening is that these things, these 10 different shifts are happening on top of each other. Right? So machines are getting smart, cognification. Right? Everything is becoming digital. Everything is becoming personalized, and everything is becoming data. That changes our job and our work fundamentally because machines are no longer stupid. If you do the work that a machine can do, you will not have work in the near future. Well, that's a really simple call center or manufacturing or doing something that is basically robot work. And many of us are doing some kind of, robotic commodity job, donkey work, if you want to call it. Even I do, right? Of course. But then the question is, how much of your job is routine? And can you move on to things that are not routine? I think in the end, it's quite clear this is the world that we're going into. Whether you are in Brazil or India or Nigeria or Switzerland, where I am, right? The world is going to go more technology, more possibilities of technology. Is going to go deeper and deeper into the possibilities, including artificial intelligence. And many of them are overhyped and not really working, I know. Right? But still, technology is here to stay. It will change our lives. Look at these stats. Right? Machines will increasingly do the routine work. An economist stat here, and this is an understatement. Right? The routine work means that the work that is robotic. Right? That's routine work. Like in financial services, looking up stuff, making a match, getting the right data, doing fact-checking, right? Non-routine work is the future, whether that's manual work, right, or cognitive work, but look at the red curve right here. That's basically quite clear if you're looking at this, right? Here, manual work, it's everywhere, right? And non-routine manual work is increasing. I mean, it's quite clear when you're looking at the stats, this is where you want to be, non-routine work. And that could be a carpenter or electrician, of course. People who are craftspeople will be on top of that domain because it's very hard to replace them. So whether you're a singer or a dancer or a priest, you go in that category, and non-routine cognitive work. But anything that can be repeated by a machine can be learned. Machine will learn it in the next 10 years, starting with the call center. So this is something we have to think about, also how we help people to move on and develop different skills. And clearly here, this is showing us how artificial intelligence could change the healthcare market. And it's quite clear if you're looking at the job market here, transportation and storage, and those are declining. Financial and insurance, I mean, clearly machines can learn that, right? They can learn manufacturing, and they're doing this. On top of the pyramid, we have growth. And hopefully your job is in that domain: health, scientific, technical communications, hospitality, education. The key thing is we have to put money into those jobs. Do you know how many jobs we could create in social and healthcare, and of course teaching, education, if we had the money to create them? We have to take that money from somewhere else, right? And that is the gain of technology. We can take the money from that, right, and move that into these new sectors where we have promise. Big discussion, of course, about policy. Bottom line is this, right? The machines will do the routine. Right? They will come in and fill in all the dots. And the routine is stuff like saying, okay, let me figure out what is the best investment portfolio for this simple application. right? Doing research and fact-checking, as we already have today. Google Maps is essentially one of those routines that we used to do by hand, and now Google Maps is doing it. And so I think what we see here is really quite clear that anything that can be digitized, automated, or virtualized will be. Anything. That goes for part of my job, and goes part for everybody's job. The question is how much. If your job is 100% routine, you're out of a job sooner or later. But which job is 100% routine? Well, I think that's a big debate that we have to have, and hopefully in our live discussion later on. But this here, useless humans, are we going to be useless because machines are becoming smart, right? Intelligent, thinking? Right? Some people even would argue that machines can feel. Right? Well, that is a stretch. Right? Useless humans, I don't think we're going to be useless because machines become smart. We're going to move up the food chain. And the question again here is one of social policy, and it's of preparation and education. Our kids shouldn't be learning to do what machines are doing, downloading information for later. They have to learn how to invent, how to do new things. So this is the main thing, of course, that we are doing. I call this in my book the androrhythms, and again, you can find that online. Just Google androrhythms, like Android and rhythms, the opposite of algorithms. So here are the androrhythms, and the androrhythms are all the things that machines will never learn. Hopefully, we won't teach them how to learn them. Right? Emotions, creativity, imagination, intuition. Einstein once said, imagination is more important than knowledge. I think knowledge is very important for the average person, clearly. But imagination, right, that's something a machine can't do because it's not fixed, it's not logical. This is something that I think is really important for us to bring back onto the agenda for teaching. And again, if you're in technology, if you're a hacker, right? Your intuition, your compassion, and of course your passion is what drives your life, right? Anything that cannot be digitized or automated becomes extremely valuable. And this is where we have to put our effort in. And that is also the future of work and the future of jobs and the future of what we're going to be doing. Because clearly, if you work like a robot, you will not have a job. If you learn like a robot, you will never get a job. Now, this is the past. Let's let go of this and figure out a new way to go forward. I know it's easier said than done. When your job is routine, you're still making money now, maybe as a driver, right? Working in a call center. But gradually, I think we need to shift over into creating new values that only humans can do. Clearly, when we talk about the future, many people are always concerned about this artificial intelligent machine, right? The machine that can think. Right? Well, they can think somewhat in the sense of essentially saying, okay, we're going to be able to compute unknown things. Right? But this here, our human things, purpose, curiosity, foresight, imagination, can machines do that? Yeah, they can fake it. Good argument. Right? But passion, critical thinking, what's generally called human agency, I don't think we should let the computers even attempt at doing this. The best possible world can be to use the computation of the machine and set this on top. Humanity on top of technology. And this is why it's so important. We saw last week the whole debate between technology and regulation. We must regulate technology so that it stays within the realms of making us more useful. So it doesn't flatten out our things that are illogical, like privacy. I always say that if you have nothing to hide, you're probably not human, because it is human to be not like a machine, to have mysteries, and to protect your privacy is crucial. And then we're moving into a world where we're all seemingly, that's what media tells us, working happily from home. Well, first of all, because there's a huge amount of discussion about how real this is, and I think it's largely reserved for the people who have the means to work from home, like I do, and many of us do. But generally speaking, yeah, I think we're going to keep on working from home, clearly, but the more virtual our lives get, especially work, the more valuable the real human-to-human interaction is. And this will be essential, because I think in the end, that is really what drives us. So working from home, working remotely is going to be a huge alternative, very important. You have to learn it. But I don't see a threat there in terms of going to real work. The real future, in my view, is going to be hybrid working, from home, from the office, when you're traveling, if you ever travel again. But clearly that's something we have to learn. Great riffing off here for Peter Drucker, who said strategy, culture eats strategy for breakfast. I say culture eats technology for breakfast. It basically creates a situation where everything that we do is not depending on our smart tools. It's depending on how we think about things. Right? And Martin Seligman wrote a great book about this psychologist who said, really, what is happiness and how is happiness how does it come about? Right? Positivity, engagement, relationships, meaning, accomplishment. He calls it PERMA. This is what we do. And this beats technology any day. Now, that's not to say that we're going to have a future without technology. There is no such thing. Right? But those two things come together.
So that concludes one of my live pre-recorded speeches that I'm sharing from a vast archive that I've done in the last 5 years. And this is stuff where I can chat with you and actually have interaction as we had before. Really appreciate you being here. If you like the show, please share it widely on social media and whatever other media you can find. If you're interested in my work, go to futuristgerd, Gerd.com, and check me out on Twitter, gleonhard. And thanks very much for being here. Thanks for your interest. And keep in mind, the future is better than we think.